Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning on the Spiritual Mysteries of Life. And before we get too far into things, I just want to remind everybody to share and like. I always forget to do that, but today they're reminding me. So if it's possible, and you can do that, I certainly would appreciate it. And we're just a blessed day here. It's beautiful. The sun is shining. The skies are blue, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful day in Pinellas Park, Florida. So, but anyway, um, today I think we probably will be doing some channeling. I'm gonna start out with. I want to read something from the Bible because that's how I start. Sometimes I end it with that. But today, because I think I'm going to be talking about love and compassion. If not, you'll get a lesson from somewhere for someone. But anyway, I'm going to go to First Peter chapter 3, and it's verse 8. And this is what they're saying is, finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one to another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. So I think that one of the things that I'm thinking about is when we read the words from the book, um, I try to think of it when Jesus was walked this earth, and he used so many metaphors. And so some of the things that we do, but it's isn't it pleasant? This is what they're showing me, is that when you go to the grocery store and somebody is seeing that maybe you only have a couple items and they have a full cart, and they'll say, oh, please, you go ahead of me. That's just being kind and considerate and compassionate. And that's really what this world needs lots of. And the more we can generate this type of thinking and knowing, uh, that all comes back to our Mother Earth. All those good things stay here, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make things happen in a more positive way. Um, and as far as and I've talked a lot about compassion and the words, and I've written about it. But today I think we're going to be channeling a little bit about love and the flame, the eternal flame, and that is the life in you. When it says, I am the flame of life, or I am the flame of love in you, these are things that will come about with your own studies, with your own whereabouts. And as I start to channel, and I'm getting ready here, if you have any questions, please type them in. We're going to open it up like we did in our last show and answer questions, and then maybe we can talk to folks. It's just a new way for people to understand that if you discipline yourself and know and study, that it's a new vehicle. I'm like a vehicle that they're using to try to give you a little explanation. As I step out or I slide over, and a spirit entity or my divine higher self, that's how I refer to me, as my divine higher self is coming through. I am not allowing today for me to slide over and let a spirit come through. This is, I'm going right to my higher self and bringing out the things that need to be brought for you in this session that we're going to be having. It's okay when you say it's like my higher self or my God self is so in tune and so in sync and many, many things are going to start to materialize for us. And as you, as I'm sensing, um, there are so many things that are going to be happening within your own self. Now, some of you are already experiencing some of the things that are going on in your own personal agenda. And one of the things that I wrote in my article this month, and I know I said it wrote it, is that don't let somebody, maybe it's not in exact words, but steal your agenda. The things that you have planned, the things that are necessary for you to grow spiritually. Now, I'm going to say this to you with as much love and compassion in my heart to you, is that because I believe in the I am, and that God and I are one. And I hope that you can, if you can't relate to that, it's okay. It's just what it is. And but eventually you will feel it and you will experience it. Because God, when you were born, you were magnificent. You still are magnificent. Every one of us has, that's what our purpose is, to come here, to grow and to raise our consciousness to our higher self. It's to raise your vibrations. When you are changing your vibrations, you go from one octave to another. When we're talking about, are we in the human octave? Yes, we are. All right, so, okay, well, how do you get out of the human octave and into the Christ octave? Those are years of lots of studying, lots of work, and you may have brought it, and I know you did. Anything that you brought here and left in your last life, you're going to pick it up, and you're going to carry it with you this life, and it's going to be with you, and when you leave this earth in this life, you're going to leave it here. It's going to be here for you when you come back. Because when you come back in, you're going to be enlightened more so than what you are now. And isn't that a wonderful thing to know that when we make that transition, that we're not just going to be dying. We are eternal beings. We are eternal life. And we are going forward. And when we come back in, some of the things that are going to be so exciting, and you're going to say, oh, and you're not going to have to start all over again and say, oh, I need to learn how to walk again. No, it's going to be, you're just going to be innate. You're going to know how to do it and walk. And it's a thing is that our innate will preserve our spirituality and bring us back into that aspect of knowing that we are and that our spiritual growth. That's why we come back. We don't come, we have the lessons that we have to learn, but the most important lesson of all is how are we growing spiritually? And one of the things that I have been learning, and it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, and I love every moment of my life. And all the things that have happened in my life have brought me to this place, to this time. And I thank my God for loving me so much and carrying me to this point. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to be able to connect with your higher self, to get to know who you are, the truth, who you are, how you speak, your truth, who and what are your principles and what are your convictions and how are you going to raise yourself to your Christ self. And one of the things, and this is the light, darkness cannot survive in light. It lays dormant, but when the light, when when the light flows in, then it's gone. It can't stand it. It cannot stand. The darkness is the negativity. It cannot stand to be in the light. And when you start to see things in the light of Christ and that Christ consciousness, and you start to pour out that type of thinking and speaking in your words and everything that you want in life, then people will see. They will see who you are. and all of a sudden you're going to emanate a beautiful light around your whole being, your physical being, because we're spirits in this physical body. And so when we're practicing and doing things, you have to remember that, okay, I know in my DNA, and all of our DNA stays here. You know, and it's here for us when we pick it up again, and all the things that we learned and how we learned it will come back. And so, and it's not been proven scientifically, but just remember, um, science and spirituality are still a long ways apart. But we are knowing, and things will be proven, and things will be able to be manifested, and it'll just come together. And when you're putting your perspective on things, and you say, oh, I don't know that I can do that. Don't say that. I have done that, or I didn't feel worthy. Now, I will share that with you, because I did have I think it's like a low self-esteem, or gee, I'm not worthy to be part of that, or I'm not. Oh, but you are. And so just remember to put that negative stuff right down, just to flush it down the toilet. Just get rid of it, because it doesn't play anything in your life. The spirituality of your life is the crux. It's the most important part of what you're going to do in this lifetime. It isn't important that you're going to get a new car or a new house or anything like that. Those things will be provided. And those the things that you need. If you have chosen, now remember, you chose certain things to do in this lifetime. If you chose to be homeless, you're homeless. And you said, I'm going to take and I'm going to live my life in a homeless situation. And why was that? Because you're learning. It's a lesson that you have had to learn. If you've come back as then you don't have movement in your body or whatever situation that you agreed to come back into helps other people learn lessons too. It's not just your lesson. When an infant dies, we all grieve because of the loss of the infant. But the infant is in rejoice. They're saying, oh, I only had to come in for 5 minutes. I'm back out, and I'll be back. So the thing is, we have in this human element of the 3D of life, we're still trying to divorce ourselves from from that element of knowing, because you have to flush it. You have to get rid of all. It's like having somebody say to you, could you just forget everything you know? Well, of course you can. It's hard to do that, because that's what we've been taught. As children, we had certain things we had to do, certain things we had to go to church on Sunday. Maybe you had to go on Wednesday. Doesn't matter. Maybe you had to go twice on Sunday. Maybe just doesn't matter. And some people went every day. It just depended on what the faith was. And if that's what they needed to do, that's what they did. And if they pass that on to you, that's your heritage. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But what you have to realize is those are all learning lessons that we have and what we're encountering. And one of the things that is hard to do is to say, okay, let's just put the brakes on and back up the bus. Are we really where we want to be? And if you're not, then you're the only one that can change it. I am experiencing things in my life that I never dreamt that I would experience. And I want everybody to know that you can do it too. It's all there for you. You just have to have the key. You just have to say to yourself, I am going to do this. I am not going to let somebody talk me out of this. I am going to be the person that I want to know my Christ self, and I'm going to study. I'm going to do the things that are necessary to get me there. And I'm not asking people to step away from their faith. I'm just saying that whatever vehicle that you're riding or going in at the time gets you to where you need to be. My life is, is a kind of nutsy, but it's fun. I just kind of let go. And I thought, oh, this is, and I have fun with it. And knowing that we can and will be just in that oneness with Christ. No desire but my desire. I got something on my screen. I just noticed it. I opened my eyes. It says an update. No. Oh, we'll just do this, say later, and then we'll get rid of that on the screen. I don't know what that's all about, but Spirit just said, look at your screen. So I'm looking at the screen. So anyway, but know that there's no desire. It's God's desire. That's what you want to acquire. You want to have, there's no love but his love, and there's no life but his life. Your life is his. You are one, and your heart is his heart. You know, this is one thing, and I'm not alone when I say this, that when single people are alone, they're always looking for someone else to fill that loneliness or loved one.
Connie, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you have a question from Dawn.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a good timing as you were talking about being single.
Yeah, will my boyfriend and I finally come to a conclusion and go our separate ways? Okay. All right, now, Dawn, just let me get to that, because I was just about to tell you that it is that we all do this, all right? We all feel that we're looking desperately for that emptiness that we have and thinking that we're going to find it in another person. And I'm just going to say this to you, Dawn, is that if you decide and your boyfriend, you've come to the conclusion that you're going to go your own separate ways, that's in divine order. If you both decide this isn't going anywhere, we're done with the gamut. Let's just go part peace and love, and then go on. And if you're meant to be back together, you will be, but not now. I do feel you're going to go your separate ways, because remember that your desires are not, you got to think of it like, if you can, honey, God loves us so much, and he gives us everything that we need. Life is, I got to go back. I got to back up here a second. And I got to go to what we were starting to say, because it will apply to you, Dawn. And that is that when we are looking for someone else to fill the void in our life, we don't need that. All we need is ourself, and go into God. He is our life. He is our desire. He is the love of our life. He is the form, our form. He is just like they're showing me your ancestry. He is ours. And just like your mom and dad in this physical world were your ancestries. Well, in our spiritual world, God is or your creator source, however you want to refer to that energy, that vibration, because as you start to move in your relationships, you might say, okay, I'm going to walk. And then all of a sudden you say, why did I do that? Doesn't matter. Because when you start to put yourself in the I am presence, your Christ self will take, and you will find that you're moving in a totally different realm, totally different people, and then you'll still run into problems with what I call the third dimension. People that are of the third dimension, they're still there and they haven't moved on. They're still like their feet are locked in, and they can't think. only in that realm. So you're moving on. Your spirituality is up and rolling. And so when you start to have, you're saying, well, are we finally going to come to a conclusion? You've already come to the conclusion. You already have, honey. And so go with that and go with love and peace in your heart, and send him love and peace too. Because when people, your vibration is changing. That's why his vibration is not coming up to yours. That's how I know. That's what they're showing me. So as you are progressing and moving spiritually upward, he's not. And so consequently, I'm sorry to say, it's just not gonna be what you really, because you know why? Your spirituality is important, more important in this lifetime than a lot of things. And you're going to find that. And so when the things start to materialize for you, and you say, oh, look at this, I never dreamed that this would be happening to me. Because there's going to be a current event coming, Dawn, for you that's going to either move you, or you're going to shift in energies. You're going to shift to another vibration, another octave. It's just a process. Oh my goodness, yes, you are. Because I can feel the vibe. Oh boy. So I want to just say, honey, buckle up, grab a hold, and move on, because it's coming, and you're going to have fun, and it's going to be an enlightenment for you. And it's not that you're supposed to be alone all your life. Don't misread that. What I'm saying to you is that you may be brought with someone of like mind, the same vibration, being able to be where you're supposed to be. And then that person may be of the same vibration. And then you say, oh, this is really cool. And maybe you're only with this person for a little while, but then your vibration may change again. So but then on the other hand, that person's vibration might say, hey, you're not leaving me behind. I'm moving right along with you. Because that's the way it works. And do believe me, excuse me, but it is, Dawn, I have lots of good things coming to you, and God bless you for that. Oh my. Oh. All right, now.
Okay.
Huh?
I was just going to say, you have a lot of questions coming in.
Okay.
Would you like to take them?
Let's take them.
Okay,
let's do it.
All right. So the next one is Tina.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's been contemplating about being in a friendship with a friend. Need insight. Okay. Being in a relationship with a friend. Okay. When two individuals, now they're showing me this, is that when two individuals, consenting individuals, are coming together as friends, and then all of a sudden, it turns into something more than just friends. Is it okay to move in that direction? I think that only you, your inner self, your higher self has to get involved here. Because when two people are really good friends, and maybe you're really good spiritual friends, and you have put all the, what I call the carnal things aside, and kept everything on a friendship, spiritual friendship basis, And then all of a sudden, something happens. And then you realize that there's what I'm calling unconditional love comes into play. And then it's a bond that only they can experience. It's not, it's when two individuals, whether you're spiritually connected or friendship connected, it's an inner knowing. You will know, your insides will tell you, is this the way to go? And if you're spiritual, or as you're talking to your guides and to your teachers, and they give you that really good feeling of warm fuzzies, then I think it's probably an okay thing to venture into. But when it's a delicate area, a very delicate area, because I've heard, in different times when people say, well, golly, we were best friends, and then we got together, and then bang, everything went down the tubes. Because maybe you were just supposed to be friends. You understand? So, but then when you get into the spiritual aspect of things, and let's say you're on a level spiritually with a person, and that were to happen, that's pretty sensitive area. And so I'm not really even going to comment on that, because I've never had that experience yet in my life. It's because I'll tell you why, Tina, is that my love is more in tune with my God or myself, my Christ self. So I need, in order for me to be connected to another human being, they would have to be at the Christ level of consciousness. Now that may sound kind of far out, but that's where, that's really when people are in tune with each other and they grow in that aspect, they'll live forever with each other, and maybe come back together again in another lifetime, because their vibration, you're going to be moving in to another vibration and another octave even. I mean, when you start moving, and as we are moving into this fifth dimension, the energies are going to change in such response will be that, it's what is in your heart. And always go back to, Tina, your heart, and know that God is you. I love the song, "It Is Well With My Soul," because everything that we do, it's like letting, let me see, how can I say this? Let God be your heartbeat and your life. If you can incorporate that, I'll say it again. Let God be your heartbeat and your life. Let him be your power and your peace. And let him be your love, love, love. Then your light, like when you're light up, you're lighting up his world and yours, and the two of you are one. And so just let it be. So you're going to have to just kind of, it's your choice. You got free choice here, even though spirit can tell us lots of things, but it's still your free will. And I think that as we progress, and as you continue your friendship with a friend, make sure that you spend time, because Tina, you are never alone. Never, ever alone. So I don't know if that's how you're feeling, just remember, honey, the energy of that I am that I am. Because that's what God said. I am that I am. And you are his. So take that and be thankful for the friendship that you have. Because those are hard to find. And so blessings be, Tina, dear.
Connie, we have another, it's not really a question, but Cindy has an insight here that I thought maybe you'd like to talk to her.
Okay. Okay. My husband reads the Bible every day, whereas I'm more spiritual. It's amazing how they coincide with. Okay, so what you're saying is that if your husband is reading this book every day, right? And whereas you're more spiritual minded, it's not saying that he is not, because he's reading the word. It's amazing how they coincide with each other. It is amazing. It works hand in hand. That's why I, Cindy, always try to either start my show or end my show or anything that I do with a Bible verse, because this book was written to give us guidance. We all need this book, and someday there won't be this book. That's a sad thing to say, but it's many, many generations away from us. One, I would say probably maybe 1,000 years, because the book of how we're moving as we move into this shift of changing from it's going to be so profound that people who are reading the Bible will all of a sudden the light will flip on, and it will, and then they're going to be saying, oh my gosh. Then it's like we talk about the pineal gland and the pituitary and the thalamus. Those are the Christ consciousness in our head. That's where he's at. He's not out there in the physical. He's in us. And so when we take these things and we put them together and we know where we're going, and of course that's a whole nother ball game and a lot in depth teachings. But it's a wonderful thing, because I truly believe that everybody needs to read the Bible, whether they do or not. I mean, I never did for years. Now I'm doing research. I'm looking things up. I have a reference Bible or book that was given to me. And so now I'm able to cross-reference and do things and get a different perspective on things, because I touched so many different lives, so many different people, that none of us are from the same background. So you have to leave it open, and I have to set it up so that I'm giving people pablum if they need it. If they need meat, I got to give them meat. If they need something else, I got to be able to give that to them. It's whatever spirit is telling me at the time that my audience needs. And so sometimes my stuff covers a lot of different things. And people say, well, man alive, how could you do all that? Well, that's because I use the Bible as my reference point. So I hope that helps you out, Cindy. It's good things, good things.
Okay, and next up is Toya. She has more of a general question here.
Any messages I need to hear this morning? Chat. Can't think of a question. Tanya Lewis. All right, Tanya. Okay. I'm so glad you asked that, because I'm going to say to you that when we're seeking, it doesn't necessarily, you're not seeking the material world. You already know what's out there. It's like, okay, I know I'm street smart. I know how to get around. I know what to do, and I can do it. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now, what you're looking for is some substance so that you can get started and know that whatever you're doing, I want to say that you've taken a giant step forward and moved. I don't know if you moved away from people or if you have just physically or that you have mentally moved away from certain folks because you're trying so hard to get to the spiritual aspect of things. I don't know if they're showing me this, and I don't know because I can't ask you this, but if your background is fundamental, maybe what's no Pentecostal, something that's really rigid and awesome, but it's like I've if it's the fundamental aspect of things, it's like, okay, I know all the fundamental I need to know. I want to know more of the spiritual aspect of things. And as you now with you moving into that light, your vibration is going to change. Now, just know that you're going to be moving up, and it won't, for you, it's going to go just like this. And so know that your fundamental background has given you a good foundation. Now, some of the things you'll say, well, I really don't need that part anymore. So you'll just put that away. Doesn't mean that you're discarding it. It's just that you just put it in like your brain is the computer, just put it in a file. Okay, I can come back to that later if I need to. But right now I don't need that. I need substance. I need to know where I'm going and what am I going to be doing. Now, I was given this morning when I was meditating, because it says, who am I? And isn't it ironic that you're asking these questions? And it says, I am a body, but more. What? You're a body, but you're a spiritual being in that physical body. This body of ours is just a vehicle to get us through this life. And I am emotions, but more. And I am a mind. You got a keen mind. And so your mind is even more. And I am an eternal soul, meaning you are going to live forever. You may leave this physical body, but you will come back. And you're going to re-come back. And you have spent a lot, I feel like that you have gone through some very difficult situations. And I want to even say maybe physical abuse or something here that I want to say to you. You walked, you got away from all that, and now know that you are going to be in the light. You made that choice and continue to walk it and just keep going, and know that you are, and you will have to search out and find the right place for you, and know that God loves you. You're so unique and so special that the knowledge that you have brought from your past life into this life is going to help and accelerate. You're going to be able to be an example for other individuals and help other women in your area. So just know that you are on the right track. You have done the things that are necessary for you, which now you will be a service to other. And isn't that a wonderful thing, to be of service to humanity, to raise their consciousness and help them along the way? I see you holding infants. I don't know if you're a nurse or you have been, but anyway, I see you holding infant children. So whatever, it's a birthing. Doesn't mean that it's going to be children in the physical. It could be a birthing of your spirituality. And oh my goodness, girl, I wish I could touch you, because you have a tremendously wonderful energy. Now, as you are starting to move that energy up, know that you will probably hit certain octaves, vibrations and things that will be, oh, how can I deal with that, Connie? How can I get through this? You will. And just know because you're on the right path. You have chosen to walk the spiritual path. And God bless you, my dear.
All right, Connie. And next up is Samantha.
Samantha Becker. Hello, do you have a message for me? Wow, look at that. Okay, Samantha Becker. All right. You wear your heart on your sleeve. Mm-hmm. You wear your heart right out here for everybody to see it. Now, I'm just going to ask you not to do that. I'm going to ask you to bring it back down inside. Because sometimes when you think that it's good that everybody sees, you can get hurt. And I think that for some reason, I'm saying to you that I want to bring it close in and hug it tight and know that no matter where you are, what you're doing, you are the source of all life. And that you are harmony with life in all dimensions. And that one, the inclusive mind or the substance of your mind, is God. So if you can take that, that's a real spiritual, heavy duty, but I do believe that you are going to be involved in a lot of spiritual things and know that the flame of life is in you and that you are the love that you carry on your shoulder, but that you generate and people, and that's how you are. You just love everybody, and that's okay because that's what this world needs. And so I'm going to leave that with you, Samantha, and I hope I hit you.
Oh my goodness. And next up is Maureen Mann. And Maureen, you know Maureen, she's one of our show hosts here.
Okay. I love a message if there is time today, please. Thank you. Okay, Maureen. Now, and Maureen, I'm going to just open my hands or my arms to you because we're here for the goodness, and we know of the angels and we know what they do for us. And the Archangel Uriel is being here, and when we think about him, I always am thankful for him filling us with the divine essence or the trust of God, revealing all that of the self doubts that we might have, and helping us get where we need to go and getting us into the light and hoping, and helping us be and take on that which we need to do. And your innate person within yourself is so in tune with what's going on in the angelic realm. You are doing the work that is necessary for people to understand about the angelic realm. There's people out there who think that's a poo-poo. We shouldn't be doing that. But you're bringing it to the forefront, and you're bringing in knowledge which will empower people to do and to seek. Because I don't know, I work a lot with the angels, and because my life is uh, pretty complex at times, but I'm very connected with the Holy Mother, as many are. I'm not the only one, but she and I have a direct connection. And but Christ and I, the Jesus, I won't. I gotta refrain that how I said that. Jesus, the man who walked the earth. I have a real connection with him. And the Christ, when I refer to Christ, Maureen, I'm talking about the Christ consciousness, the octave, the Christ octave, which takes us closer to the God. Because after the Christ consciousness, which you already know, is the Lordship, which that's going to take a lot of people a long time. But anyway, for you, you are doing the right things. You are presenting things that are necessary to help educate humanity to the avenue that they need to have something to look forward to. They need to have that little bit of something that especially in the Catholic realm, they all believe in angels and stuff, but in the fundamentalist background, those folks are kind of, that's a little unnerving for them, and they're not comfortable about using the word spirit. They want to use the word Lord. So there's things that you're bringing to the folks that will help them understand that there's other avenues that will help them get to where they need to be. And I hope that it reaches you.
Oh, and Connie, next up is Carolyn Lewis.
Carolyn Lewis. Carolyn Lewis. Carolyn, I'm going to come to you today with a very spiritual, strong message. I don't feel that you're looking for a material reading. I truly believe that you're looking for the higher consciousness, and as you are moving forward, and I do believe you have already made the decision to move forward, and you are studying and doing some work and I'm not just sure where it's at, if it's in the tarot or if it's in astrology or whatever, but you're working in things that are not necessarily of the normal range of things, and then that's fine. I'm not a student of astrology. I like it. I think it's interesting, and I'm not a student of the tarot, the cards, but I think it's interesting. I love it. I love it when I hear somebody else interpret and bring those messages forward. I think it's an avenue which people need. It doesn't matter what vehicle you're driving, if as long as it gets you to where you need to go. If you're going and you want to be to God and it gets you there, it's okay, because he knows. I mean, this is how I see it: is that he gives people these gifts, and why does he give them to them? Because he loves them. He says, I want more of my children. I want them to come to me. If that's the only way they can get there, I'm going to bring them in. Does that make sense to you? I hope so. But in that process, so whatever you're doing, you continue to do it. And God bless.
Connie, and next up is Marie Colucci Verkamp.
Okay. Marie. Mm-hmm. Now, Marie, your name alone is fun. But you're a fun person. You love to dance. I see that first and foremost about you. I see that you're love life. You just embracing everything, and you just want to continue to be uplifted and fulfilled, and it's amazing. Now, one of the things that I want to say to you is that I wish I had a little bit of that, because I'm so I don't know. I'm not a very fun. I'm not real fun. But anyway, I just wish I could find myself where I could just let go of the little girl inside of me and say, "Oh, let's have lots of fun." I have never been there, so I don't know what that's like. Maybe in my next life. But anyway, right now, I see that with you, and it's a wonderful energy, and it's uplifting, and it's good. But I want to just caution you a little bit, because sometimes you have a tendency, Marie, to how do I say this tactfully? You kind of have a tendency to go out there and tell everybody everything that you're doing, and then it's like everybody stops and says, "What? What do you mean? What are you doing?" You know, it's like you share too much. So I'm saying that you got to ring it in a little bit, and not be so free to, because some of the folks that you're sharing this information with, and it's all spiritual that you're sharing, because you're having these experiences, they don't understand it, and they think you've gone off the deep end because of your vivacious personality and your funness, and then you come up with this profound intellect, and they're like, what is going on here? So with that, I'm going to just say to you that you need to, don't change who you are. Do not do that. But just know that you are going to be doing a lot more. You know who I see laid over you is a Deborah Silverman. So I don't know if you know who she is. I think she has something to do with astrology. So anyway, um, I will just leave that with you. And if you're studying astrology, continue to do it. If you're a psychologist and you work with different individuals, it'll work with your work. So blessings be, Marie, and don't change a thing.
And Connie, next up is Laura Yensolito.
Of course you're on the right path. Of course you are. Now I say that with all intent. I should back up a little bit. When you say, are you on the right path? If you're working to better yourself spiritually, yes, then you are on the right path. If you're on a path that's more materialistic and you're kind of down in the dumps and down, going this way and going that way, then you probably need to do a readjustment. Sometimes, Laura, I sense that, and if I could just hear your voice, but anyway, it's all right. It's all right. I got it. It's like I have an opinion. And when I voice my opinion or my truth, somebody is always there to knock me down. So when you speak your truth and someone says, well, that's not right, and you know in your heart of hearts that it is right, it's like in the Bible it says, don't cast ye pearls before swine. So sometimes we just shouldn't tell people about our spiritual growth in certain areas, certain folks, because then they put a damper on it, and that brings you down. So don't be sharing all that good stuff that you're experiencing with everybody. You just, until you find the right people, and they'll be brought to you. different individuals will come into your life and you'll say, oh, do you know, I had this experience. And then the next thing you say, oh, yeah, I did too. Then you're going to be of like minds. And then you can share your stuff. But when you're sharing things out there with folks who kind of say, oh, no, we can't be doing that, don't let that deteriorate from you. You're a beautiful soul, and you are life of essence. You are the life of essence. And know that you are loved by your creator beyond all. And so whatever your creative source is, whether it be Buddha, doesn't matter. Muhammad, doesn't matter. Just know that you are linked to the highest supreme being, and that as you continue to take your journey, because you're a young soul yet, you've got lots and lots of good things coming, and you will progress and do well in your spiritual life. And God bless you, honey.
Connie, we have about 3 more people to do, if that's all right.
Yep.
Okay. So next up is Sue Reimer.
Okay, Sue Reimer. Just now discovering my life purpose and abilities, needing direction to help others. Abilities, needing direction to help others. Sue, let me just say this. If you have just discovered your life purpose and your abilities, the direction will be given to you spiritually as to what avenue to use those gifts in. I want to use myself as an example for this, Sue, because back in 2016, Denise asked me if she could interview me on her show, on the radio. And I thought, yeah, I guess I could do that. And I thought, well, she said, because I am, a senior. I hate to say that, but I'm a senior in this realm of working with spirit, and that she always calls me the groundbreaker, because back in the day I was doing a lot of things in the 60s and 70s that made things happen in the Grand Rapids area. Now, when she asked me, I thought, let me think about it. So I did. And then maybe it was 15 that she asked me that, because it was in 16 that we actually hit the air. And finally Spirit said to me, you gotta do this. And so I said, okay, because I wasn't doing anything spiritually down here. I was just doing my stuff, doing my little meditations, doing just everything on a small scale. And I said, oh, okay. So I called her up and we did it. And then before we got off the phone, she says, disconnected, she said, oh, we got to have another show. We got to have another hour. And I said, okay. So we did another hour. And then at the end of that show, she says, you got to have your own show. And so that's how it all materialized. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So that night we're sitting there, and I was looking at one of my books that I have. It was a dear friend, Nellie Kane, wrote years ago, Exploring the Mysteries of Life. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, gee, Nellie, you told me one time that I would be doing something like this. And now here it is. And then Denise says, well, Connie, what do you want to call your show? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I have no idea. And I looked at the title of her book and I thought, The Spiritual Mysteries of Life. What's wrong with that? And so that's what we came up with. And so then I started on the radio and doing it and talking about the I am. I don't know if I started with that right in the beginning, but I done a lot of channeling with Uriel, and the Archangel Uriel has been awesome. And so these are the things that, you know, when you have direction and it's given to you, you don't know how it's going to materialize, is what I'm trying to say to you. And now I'm on the Be Live TV. Now, who would have ever dreamed that? So, and now and then I'm writing for the magazine. How is that? I mean, I'm published. I think I pitch myself every now and then. And besides that, we're doing things here where I'm at spiritually, and we're growing. And we're not broadcasting anything, but we are growing spiritually. We haven't got numbers of people yet because we have to be in a certain octave or a certain vibration before things can start to materialize. And so I'm saying to you is that watch that one of your words in your question was needing direction. Watch that someone outside of you will be giving you direction. Like Denise picking me and saying, you need to be doing this. All right. Then the next thing you know, Nessie says, Connie, I think you need to be writing. And I'm like, I don't do that, you know. Well, then here I am. So these are things that, Sue, just know that your direction may come from outside of you. Someone may know of you and give you. And so with that, I want to give you a big, big hug. If I could just reach out there, I would just hug you so tight and know that you are on the right path. You are going to be doing the spiritual things that you need to do in this lifetime. And God bless you.
Okay, Connie, next up is Jewel Francis Smith. It's a big one.
Oh, I guess so. It says, I have been led to create art, and I am following his guidance in what I do. I'm wanting to be open to what he wants to show me and lead me to. Oh, are my eyes still closed to things and I'm missing some? Okay. Okay, Joel. I gotta sit back here a second. All right, now, Jewel, I don't know what type of art you're doing, but sometimes it's some, I don't know. I'm just going to go off. I'm just going to show you I'm just going to share what they're showing me. And that is, there's been days I just take and throw that paint, just like that. Say, there it is. That's what it is. And then there's other times that I'm taking a fine line and I'm drawing and I'm being very precise, very meticulous. And it's like, okay, now I've got the stems going, and then I have the leaves, and then I have the petals. And then it's like, okay, now I've got that. Now I'm going and I'm landscaping. I see I'm painting the water with the beach and with the seagulls. And then they're showing me that I've got a mountain range that I'm going. And then I'm seeing all of these different types of paintings. So it tells me that you're gifted enough, you can do whatever you want to do. And if you're mad and you want to throw the paint, throw the paint. If it's not coming out the way you want it, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Because God loves you just the way you are. And God is going to make sure, and your spirit guides and your angels and your source are going to help you with the ability, or so that you know what avenue you are to go down. if you're saying, well, now I'm really good at cats. I can really draw a good cat. Oh, and I thought, well, I'll be talking, and I'm seeing a lion's face. I'm not seeing a domestic kitty. I'm seeing the lion, the cat, and it's like I can see the strokes and the feel. You get the feel of the animal when you're painting, and it's like, okay. So and the same thing with when you're drawing a tree or when you're putting leaves on a tree. It's like you can feel and breathe the leaf. You can feel the bark of the tree. You, as you're painting, you can feel that energy. You can feel when you're drawing a person, and it's like I can feel that energy. When I'm drawing a horse, I can feel the breath of that horse. I can feel his energy. It's like, okay, so there's things that are out there. If it's abstract and you just say, I just need to take my hands and just take and go wherever it wants to go, and then just let it off. Whatever. It's whatever makes you feel spiritually enlightened. So when you are moving in clouds, I see clouds, the streaks of the clouds, not not them trails up there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the beautiful clouds that are just essence of beauty, and the sun and the moon. It's like I see a sunset with the moon on the ocean, and it's like, oh my gosh. In my case, it's the Gulf of Mexico, but in most cases, when people are around any kind of water and they see that sun hit that horizon, it's just phenomenal. And I feel that you're able to capture many of those things, and you feel that vibration. You feel when you're painting the moon, you're feeling that moon's vibration. When you're painting the sun, you feel the sun's vibration. That's what says to me is that you're on such a high roll that you're going to be going, Jewel, to another octave. And I hope you can just hang on, because they're going to take you to another realm of the Christ octave. You're going up. And so just know that you have done what you needed to do, and you're doing it. So in every aspect, or you would not be going to the Christ octave. Can I just say that to you? And Lord, I mean, that is so awesome. That is just absolutely awesome. And I want to stay in that energy, but I have to say goodbye. But I know, but Jewel, I'm sending you. You should be. I'm just going to stay in your energy for a few minutes because it's so awesome. And God bless you. Amen. Oh my word, that was awesome.
Oh my goodness. All right. We have one last person, and this is Tamarind Lewis.
All right. She's lost. Tamarind Lewis. Tamra, I absolutely am in awe of what I'm seeing here. There's a tremendous amount of things that are going to start to happen with you. I want you to be as tentative as you can be. I feel like there's some circumstances around you that I have to be cognizant of, and that I can't just jump up and take and go and do. I have to be very careful. And as I'm doing that, I want you to know that your innate self is so in tune with your spirituality. The innate we have to bridge the innate to the brain. And and when we do, and there's no scientific, they can't prove that, but I'm just telling you, that's how they show it to me, that the innate that is in us, it is connected. It's connecting with our spiritual. The innate controls our spirituality. It helps bring us to where we need to be. And I believe, young, that you are at a place where you are able to reach higher higher levels of your consciousness, and know that it's okay to do, I'm going to say beat of the drum. I don't know why I'm getting that, but for some reason, it's like I've got to have the beat of the drum involved in what I'm doing. So whatever that is, you continue it and know that everything is about to do what I call a turnaround, not upheaval, but a turnaround, meaning that you're going to move, things are going to just come in and go out, come in and go out. But as I'm hearing or feeling that beat of the drum, that's important. So if that's has to do with music or has to do with lining up something for you, then you continue to do that. I really feel that you're on a quest for yourself. It's like, I'm tired. I'm just tired of everybody telling me what to do. I'm going forward. I am going to do what I need to do to move myself spiritually. I have to. And that's where I'm at. I have to do this. And so, young lady, I'm saying go for it, do it, and blessings be to you. And let me know how you come out, because you got a story to tell. Okay? And God bless.
That was the last one, Connie. So
Okay.
your last words to your audience.
All right. So, well, now will I be able to look on my page to see if anybody responds? Because sometimes
Yes.
they don't, and that's
Yes.
good for me to know if I've got to them.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, you have many, many messages here. So, yeah, you go to your fan page and you'll see it all.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right. So, did you want to leave your audience with some parting words before you
Yes.
say goodbye?
Yep. I certainly do. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I hope that what we're trying to achieve here is things that will help you spiritually. Um, I know that people want to know about the material things in life, but for me, it's more important for me to help you with your spiritual aspect of where you're going and what you should be doing, because the material things are there. And but I just want everybody to feel comfortable enough to tune in and know that this is an opportunity that we could touch with the spirit to help them gain insight into their own spiritual oneness. And God bless each and every one of you for being such great people, because we're surrounded with wonderful folks. So blessings be to you all, and I love you.